What if I told you, they told you for years, that this guy had the most points in college basketball history, but he doesn't. And now in 2024, they're telling you that this young woman now has the most points in college basketball history. She doesn't. Let's see who really does. What it look like, TV?
I am back! What it do, baby?
YouTube's own Varnell Hill.
Did you miss me?
And we back, man. We got another episode, and today we're going to get into why the NCAA has been lying to us and leading us on for the past couple months about who's the leading all-time scorer in college basketball. But before we even get into it, this video was in no way to try to downplay Caitlin Clark. I think she's an unbelievable athlete. I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm a fan of hers because I'm a fan of Peely.
Peely, ball fake, takes it up.
Peely, if you see this video, I need one of them Utah jerseys for the backdrop. Hook it up, Peely. I'm rooting for you over here. But I think Caitlin Clark is going to have a hell of a career in the WNBA. And I think she deserves all her accolades, but we don't need to give her accolades that she don't deserve. Because the person that has scored the most points in college basketball history is Pearl Moore. Pearl Moore scored 4,061 points, playing from 1975 to 1979. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, because she played for the AIAW, that she shouldn't be included in the NCAA record books. But the AIAW was the precursor to the NCAA for women's sports. Because before Title IX, the women had to have somewhere to play. And where they played and the flag that they played under was the AIAW. So just like with all the other sports, football, all the old AFL records before the merger, before the NFL and the AFL merged together, all those records are in the NFL record book. All the Negro League baseball players' records are in the MLB record books. If women had nowhere else they couldn't play underneath the flag of the NCAA, doesn't mean that their stats do not count. This woman played before the women's basketball was even created. She went out there and she dropped 4,061 points with a man ball and with no three-point line. When you shoot a three-pointer, you get 50% more points. That's why the three is such the craze right now. Because statistically, you get 50% more points. She ain't have that option. She went out there and just got buckets after buckets after buckets. Then a lot of people will say, well, if she played in the AIAW, her level of competition probably wasn't on the level. BS. You can listen to this coach right here tell you about the teams that she played against.
Competing against both small and large universities, many like Clemson, South Carolina, and Florida State, now NCAA Division I schools, Pearl Moore scored and scored and scored and scored. 4,061 total points. To become in 1979, the all-time leading collegiate scorer, both men and women.
And then if you take a listen to this video right here, after her coach finished coaching at Francis and Marion, or Marion and Francis, her small college in South Carolina, her coach went on to coach at UNC for North Carolina, for the Tar Heels. And this is what she had to say about Pearl Moore.
Pearl Moore could play at any Division I school in the country. I think she's one of the greatest players that's ever played the game, and I don't think there's any school in the country that Pearl could not be probably an All-American. One of the amazing things is that Pearl played at Francis Marion College. It's now Francis Marion University. The enrollment was about 3,500, and we played against Division I schools like University of South Carolina, Clemson, Florida State, NC State, just a lot of the major Division I schools now with some of the better women's basketball programs. So So, you know, we were a small school playing against the big dogs, as a lot of people say, and she still was the greatest player of all. There's no doubt in my mind that Pearl Moore belongs in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Anybody that was around the game of basketball at that time can tell you that Pearl Moore was the real deal. She could have played, well, she did play at a small college, but she was perfectly capable of starting and playing at any college in this country because she was a literal walking bucket.
Professional ball, she was called instant offense. She set a national record for scoring in one game with 61, and she had a career scoring record of 4,061 points.
Pearl played at then Francis Marion College from 1975 to 1979. She scored 4,061 points during her collegiate career, some 400 more points than the University of Kansas' Lynette Woodard, and some 800 more points than Hall of Famer Carol Blajowski of Montclair State, two individuals often referred to as the career scoring leaders of women's college basketball. Pearl helped lead Francis Marion to 3 appearances in the AIAW Small College National Tournament. During a 1978 Small College National Tournament game that I staffed, she scored a record 60 points in a victory over Eastern Washington State College. Earlier that season, she passed the scoring mark of the legendary Pistol Pete Maravich with a 52-point effort against East Carolina University. Pearl recorded her totals despite playing on Francis Marion teams that never had a 6-footer. At only 5'7", she also recorded 1,270 career rebounds and went on to play several years of professional basketball both overseas and in the States.
Now, with all that being said, let's salute Pearl Moore, because Pearl Moore put the work in, and on top of it all, Pearl Moore doesn't even want any credit. Pearl Moore was embarrassed when her pastor brought this up in church not too long ago, that they have the real leading scorer of all time in college. And I don't want to hear nothing about NCAA or this, that, and the other, because if you hoop, you know. As long as you step on the court, it's a game. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, and you have to perform. So all that, we was playing for the NCAA, the AA, whatever, the AIAW. The only thing that matters was when that whistle blew, she put buckets in. And that should be remembered, that should be respected, and that should be honored. And until someone gets 4,061 points, Pearl Moore will be the reigning queen of college basketball. But you can't say, with her playing against Division I talent and putting up numbers against Division I talent, that she shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, or her record shouldn't stand. So y'all tell me how y'all feel about this one. If anybody has any more information about Pearl Moore, throw it down in the comments section. But before this video is over, we're not going to forget, they just passed Lynette Woodard. But we're not going to forget you, Lynette Woodard. But you put up 3,649 points during your career. You was number 2 for a long time. Pearl Moore, Lynette Woodard, they have been the top 2 scorers in college basketball up until this year. And it's pretty sad that we're just finding out about them this year. But once again, hit me in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about this one. If you done made it to this point in the video, you are my MVP.
It was a stone groove, my man.
I'm out of here.